Last week on the Venator update, we made these amazing custom logos, and this week we're going to be working on installing them. Hey guys, welcome to week 60 of building my custom Venator. I first off apologize for missing last week. I was a bit sick with the COVID, and I also had a mild concussion as well, so I just had no time to really work on this project at all, which is super unfortunate because I had a goal to get this thing done by October 1st, and there is still a lot that needs to be done, such as the engines. I need to install these Republic logos, which we'll hopefully be doing this week. We gotta finish up the bridge, build the interior of the bridge, have to build Venator hangar doors that are able to open and close. So many features that are left to be completed on this project. I am very concerned that I will not finish it by October 1st.
It's not true! That's impossible!
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
No! No!
Which is why I'm thinking about maybe changing the deadline to a date I determine in the future. Because, honestly, I've seen so many amazing MOCs build up so much great potential momentum that later on, they have a deadline, like a convention or something, and then they work so hard to get it done, but they end up half-assing the job and not doing a great job at their MOC. Now, in the ways of the delay, it probably won't be too much longer, honestly, maybe a month or two extension, if anything, because we're really close to getting this thing done. As I listed, there are only a few details that need to be added to this thing, but I want to do them the best way possible. So we are still very, very close to getting this project done. However, the tight deadline of October 1st may not happen all the way. That doesn't mean, though, I'm not going to try my best to get this thing done by October 1st. I'm going to try my hardest, but if I don't get it done, it doesn't get done. Now, with all that depressing talk out of the way about the Venator, let's get in this update without further ado. Now, starting off this week on the Venator update, we have made some great progress, such as this panel right here. We basically replicated that on the other side of the Venator. We spent a lot of time this week working on how I was going to do this, and it took a while to do, and we had to modify a bunch of things, which made it take a long time and was super frustrating to complete. But we also did this thing right here. I've been wanting to do this for so long. You realize how the red stripes are way thicker and the gray lines are way skinnier? Well, that is one of those small details that I was mentioning earlier that I wanted to complete that I wasn't sure I was going to have enough time to do on the Venator. So we did it on that side. I think it looks way more accurate for the Venator project. However, we have not done it on this side yet. So that is one of the things we have to get done this week. Speaking of this week, we got a huge order of Bricklink in that was only $60, which was a crazy good deal for all these parts we desperately need for the Venator project. So right now, I gotta organize these and put them in their bins. Now that we've gotten all those organized, that took about a good hour, I think it's time we continue to work on this section we began last week with this Venator hull right here. I think we've made some great progress capturing these angles, and this definitely took a long time to do, but I'm super happy to continue working on this week because once these Republic logos are installed on both sides, I think this will look absolutely amazing. After several hours of work, we came up with this solution right here. I am currently using the tan pieces from my Hogwarts castle over there, the bridge specifically, and I think this came out really, really nice. It's been several hours trying to figure out these angles and how to make everything work properly, but it is coming out very nicely. I think I do have to make some edge to the top of it somehow to, actually make everything fit nicely, but that will be due at a later date due to the fact that this thing right here took me about 3 hours to do because it just was so complicated with so many different angles. So the next thing I do want to work on for this week is replicating another one of these columns, which you don't have on there currently, but is currently built. So let's get those assembled right now. So I began to replicate the column once again, just building up the same thing as usual, and then I realized there was a mistake with the original one, so I had to fix the original one and make modifications to the new one because pieces were not fitting together properly in the ways of snap form. So that was a bit of an issue that I had to fix, which is why you see me going back and messing with both of these. So we may have just made a ton of progress. This looks absolutely amazing. I'm super happy how these came out. They look great next to each other. We got the whole bridge section mostly built now, which is great to see, except for this panel on the other side, which is something I think we'll work on for next week, or maybe this week if we have some time left in the update. But I am super happy with the progress we have made on this. It looks absolutely amazing. However, there is one small issue. There's always an issue with, me. So currently, the problem is, you see this gap right here? That shouldn't be there. And the reason it's there is because there's too much width in the center. You see how it's like jutting this out and causing things like this to be misaligned? It's a problem. However, we can't really narrow it, otherwise there'll be a big gap between this piece and this piece right here, which is a bit of a problem, and that will happen on both sides. So it's either a little bit tight, which causes bricks to, break apart a little bit like that, or it's not tight enough, which is a huge problem for me, and I really am worried about how I'm going to solve that. However, I think it's not really that noticeable right now, so maybe I won't do anything about it for a while, but I do think it is something that should be addressed eventually. Now, the one thing I really want to show you guys this week is this. The amazing lights we have installed this week on the Venator. I love how these came out. I might add some more gray pieces in the middle of it to just divide the light sections a bit, because this is mostly accurate. However, kind of a few things that need to be improved with it, but I think this looks absolutely amazing lit up. Thank you to my sponsors, Light Towing and BricksMax, for making this possible, because without them, I don't think I could afford to sponsor this whole thing being lit up. It would probably cost hundreds of dollars. So, huge shout out to Light Towing and BricksMax, my sponsors. Make sure you use code RealBricks to save 10%, because Lego is expensive, and every little dime you can get off is totally worth it, not gonna lie, because when you're spending so much on MOC like this every single week, it adds up. And if you can save a little bit on the lights for your MOC by using a code, I totally suggest you do that. So that is going to wrap it up for this week on the Venator update. We didn't get a whole bunch done, but there were several circumstances to why that happened, because COVID, I got a concussion, so many things happened. But next week, I hope we can continue working on Republic logos if we get some more parts in, and I also hope we can finish up this red stripe, because we do have all the parts for it. So the main focus of next week's update, I think, is going to be the red stripe right here, so stay tuned for that. But with that said, I think we're going to wrap it up for this week on the Venator update, and I'm going to try my best to get most of this done by October 1st, because that would be the desired goal. However, I don't want to half-ass this MOC and do a bad job with it, so which is why I am planning on potentially waiting a bit longer to get this thing finalized and complete, because I really want this to be one of the best MOCs ever, and I see so many great MOCs get made, and then they rush it for a convention, or they rush it for a deadline, and then they just turn out messy, and I don't want messy, I want perfection. So that is why I'm thinking about maybe pushing it back a bit longer. But that's going to wrap it up for this week on the Venator update. I hope all you guys did enjoy this update. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button down below, and I'll see you all next week on the Venator update.